Thank you for joining us on Arirang News. I'm Choi Min-dong in Seoul. South Korea blasted anti-Pyongyang loudspeaker broadcast near the inter-Korean border overnight in retaliation against North Korea's latest filth balloon deliveries. Heavy rainfall will continue to pound the country on Friday, mainly in the southern region. Rain is expected to stop temporarily in the capital region until the afternoon. Former U.S. President Donald Trump has formally accepted the GOP nomination for president. This comes as President Biden faces ongoing calls to leave the race. And as we speak, Donald Trump is addressing the Republicans as their official presidential nominee, delivering his first speech since Saturday's assassination attempt. For more, we have our Lee Si-hoo waiting on the line for us. Si-hoo, do fill us in.
Right, Min-jung, the former U.S. president is on the stage at the moment at the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, accepting the official party nomination. He's delivering his keynote speech, sharing his vision to, quote, usher in a new golden age for America. Now, this is his first public address since he survived an assassination attempt at a rally on Saturday. Now, previously on Sunday, Trump told the Washington Examiner newspaper that he decided to rewrite his speech following the assassination attempt and that he'll share a message of unity instead of making attacks on Joe Biden, the current U.S. president and the presidential candidate for the Democratic Party. Today, before Trump's speech, many of his supporters delivered their own speeches. That includes his son Eric Trump and the wrestler Hulk Hogan.
Right, and we hear that President Joe Biden, running against Trump, is reportedly facing more pressure from his party to end his campaign.
That is correct, Min-jung. According to U.S. media reports, leading Democrats have privately pushed the Democratic Party candidate and current U.S. President Joe Biden to drop out of the election race. The Associated Press and the Washington Post reported that former U.S. President Barack Obama has privately expressed concerns to Democrats about the viability of Biden's candidacy. Now, Senator John Hickenlooper told Reuters on Wednesday that Biden is working towards a decision on whether to stay in the presidential race that is good for the country. But other Democrats continue to support Biden in his contest against Trump, with Vice President Kamala Harris saying unity does not involve, quote, an agenda that deprives whole groups of Americans of basic freedoms, opportunity, and dignity. Min-jung.
Thank you. That was our Lee Si-hoo reporting live. And moving on, the South Korean military has resumed its loudspeaker broadcast toward North Korea for the first time in more than a month after the North recently sent more than 200 balloons carrying waste. Our North Korean affairs correspondent Kim Jung-sil has the latest.
The South Korean military has strongly criticized the North's balloon provocations. On Friday morning, the military released a statement saying despite repeated warnings, the North has yet again sent another round of balloons carrying paper trash from Thursday afternoon until early Friday. The military called the act low and disgraceful actions, which come despite severe rain damage affecting residents in both Koreas. The South's military also resumed a loudspeaker broadcast from Thursday night in response to a fresh round of balloons found in northern Gyeonggi-do Province. Most carry paper trash, posing no threat, the military added. The broadcasts, which can reach 30 kilometers in distance, were put on towards where the balloons came from. The content includes ideas that the North's regime is especially sensitive about, including criticizing the ruling Kim family and promoting capitalism. Pyongyang's balloon provocation continues amid a previous warning by the North Korean leader's powerful sister, Kim Yo-jong, earlier this week. She said South Korean leaflets were found in the North and vowed to retaliate. Civic groups, mainly consisting of North Korean defectors organizations, have been sending leaflets to the North, as since last year, the South Korean government has not tried to prevent the distribution of leaflets.
We're approaching the issue of distributing leaflets in consideration of the Constitutional Court's decision ensuring freedom of expression. The government maintains close collaboration with relevant agencies and is committed to managing the situation effectively.
Some experts say, though, that Seoul may need to reevaluate the situation.
There's a need for the government to reevaluate the situation of condoning the distribution of leaflets by some North Korean defectors organizations to protect the lives and safety of the border residents and also to ease tensions on the Korean peninsula.
Kim Jung-sil, Arirang News.
A delegation of Russian defense officials are in North Korea with its deputy defense minister holding talks with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un on Thursday. According to the North's KCNA on Friday, Russia's deputy defense minister Alexei Krivoruchko met with the North Korean leader at the headquarters of the Workers' Party of Korea. The report added that the two recognized the importance and need for military cooperation between the two countries to protect mutual security interests. The visit marks the first time a high-ranking Russian defense official has visited North Korea since Russian President Vladimir Putin visited North Korea last month. Heavy monsoon rain is forecast to hit southern regions of the country on Friday, but most parts of the country will see a break from the rain until the afternoon. Meanwhile, northern Gyeonggi regions that were hit hard by torrential rain earlier this week are finally seeing their traffic and transportation routes normalize. Lee Seung-jae has more.
Monsoon rain continues here in Korea on Friday, with heavy rain forecast to hit the southern regions of the peninsula. The southwestern city of Gwangju and the Jeollabuk-do regions will see heavy rain of around 30 millimeters per hour until the afternoon, while southeastern cities like Busan and Ulsan will also see similar rainfall. Gyeonggi-do Province is expected to be hit the hardest with more than 100 millimeters of accumulated rain throughout the day. However, most parts of the country are forecast to get a break from the recent heavy rainfall until the afternoon. Meanwhile, as of 5 a.m. Friday, the main transportation network in the northern Gyeonggi region, which had been paralyzed after the torrential rain earlier in the week, is operating normally. The Dongbu Expressway linking Seoul to Gyeonggi opened after a 15-hour shutdown due to a rise in water levels in a nearby stream. The region's railways, including the Gyeongwon Line, Gyeonggi Line, and the Gyeongcheon Line, which had been suspended, also resumed operation from 5:40 p.m. Thursday. The northern and southern areas of Gyeonggi-do Province were among the hardest hit regions on Thursday, with Pyeongtaek, located 60 kilometers south of Seoul, recording hourly rainfall of 88.5 millimeters at one point in the morning. Paju in northern Gyeonggi-do reported accumulated rain of over 633 millimeters from Tuesday to late Thursday morning, with many people forced to evacuate from their homes. The government said as of 5 a.m. Thursday, a total of 887 residents from 8 cities and provinces across the country had been evacuated in the aftermath of the latest downpours. Lee Seung-jae, Arirang News.
After around a month, President Yoon was back on the road on Thursday to host his 27th Public Policy Dialogue. This time, and for the first time, it was in Jeollabuk-do Province. From industries to culture, President Yoon has vowed to help the province grow faster. Our Kim Do-yeon reports.
Advanced technology, life, and culture. These are the key words that President Yoon presented to Jeollabuk-do Province as part of his vision to push the region. This came as he hosted the 27th Public Policy Dialogue there.
전북이 공들여서 육성하려고 하고 있는 2차 전지와 바이오 등 첨단 산업에 대한 기대도 그 어느 때보다 큽니다. 또 우리 전통 문화의 본산인 전북이 문화 산업의 새로운 거점이 될 것입니다.
Among the many pledges he made, first, he said the region needs to be the country's advanced technology bridgehead. To do this, the government will invest 250 billion Korean won, or around $180 by 2030, to create a hydrogen-specialized national industrial complex. By 2026, the infrastructure will be expanded to establish an innovative ecosystem for hydrogen commercial vehicles. As for life, the president is focusing on the region's strength in the agricultural industry. He pledged he would support young entrepreneurs and smart farms to relocate into the region. As for culture, on top of culture content support centers, he pledged to invest around $29 million to create a youth sports complex to foster national athletes. He also pledged that any regulations that hinder growth will be scrapped, as he ordered government officials to not think twice before making decisions when it comes to this.
성장을 방해하고 경제 활동, 자유로운 경제 활동을 불필요하게 제한하는 게 있으면은 즉시 폐지해 주기 바랍니다. 우리 여기 공무원들도 많이 오셨는데 그거를 뭐 검토하고 다른 부처하고 협의하고 그러기 전에 이거는 불필요하다 하면은 즉시 다른 부처에 또 유사한 게 있으면 같이 폐지하는 식으로 이렇게 해서.
This was his first time going to the region since he started the policy dialogues. He shared his personal experiences with the city, naming a couple of restaurants that he used to like. He also said it was tough to reach the region's main city of Jeonju from Gyeonggi-do Province, requesting relevant government officials to speed up the decision to create a highway connecting the two regions. Kim Do-yeon, Arirang News.
Samsung Electronics has cemented its position at the top of the home appliances and laundry market in the United States. The South Korean tech giant was the most awarded company in U.S. consumer intelligence firm J.D. Power's consumer satisfaction rankings revealed on Friday, taking the top spot in 10 out of 11 segments. This is the second year in a row for Samsung Electronics to achieve such a feat, with its refrigerators sweeping the charts across all measured dimensions in a survey of more than 15,000 customers. Its ranges, cooktops, microwaves, front and top load washers, and clothes dryers also topped their respective categories this year. At the Summer Olympics in Paris, the South Korean table tennis team is preparing for a hopeful revival after a disappointing performance in the last two Olympics. Our Choi Soo-young has more.
Table tennis was first included as an official event at the 1988 Seoul Olympics. Since then, South Korea has won a total of 18 Olympic medals, including 3 golds, ranking second overall in Olympic table tennis history. However, after a golden era in the late 1990s and early 2000s, South Korea's performance declined in the 2010s, falling behind countries including China, Japan, and Germany. Even in the 2016 Rio and 2020 Tokyo Olympics, South Korea didn't claim any medals. But after the Tokyo Olympics, their competitiveness sharply improved through a newly launched professional table tennis league here. In results, at the Hangzhou Asian Games last year, the team won a total of 8 medals. Jeon Ji-hee, the oldest of the women's team and the Hangzhou Games women's doubles champion with her partner Shin Yu-bin, is competing in a 3rd Olympics in Paris. She became a South Korean citizen in 2011 after moving from China and is determined to give her everything in what will be her last Olympics.
After Tokyo, this Paris Olympics feels very close since it's being held just 3 years later. I will work hard to make up for the disappointment from Tokyo.
The team's morale is better than ever. Shin Yu-bin, who will compete in the women's team event and mixed doubles, has become a key player since her Olympic debut in Tokyo. She and her partner Im Jong-hun aim for gold in the mixed doubles.
My goal is to play without regrets, trusting in the hard training I've put effort into. I'll do my best to show my best performance, so please cheer for us.
In Paris, Jeon, Shin, and Lee Eun-hye will compete in the women's events, and Im, Chang Woo-jin, and Cho Dae-sung will compete in the men's events, aiming to win at least 3 medals. New hope is being kindled, starting from the 27th. Choi Soo-young, Arirang News.
Gangwon-do Province is one of the most popular places for South Koreans to enjoy their summer breaks. But some say that Gangwon-do should also seek ways to attract tourists not just during the summer, but through all 4 seasons. Our Park Go-nu tells us more.
Gangwon-do Province in eastern South Korea is one of the country's most popular summer vacation spots, particularly due to its beautiful beaches. According to a survey by data research firm PMI in June, over 70% of Korean respondents planning summer vacations decided on domestic trips, what people call staycations, instead of going overseas due to high costs. The survey also showed that Gangwon-do was the most popular summer vacation destination in South Korea, out of all other domestic travel options.
Gangwon-do is a great place to come as it is really close to Seoul and the transportation is convenient.
I chose Gangwon-do instead of places like Jeju Island because of high costs, and I wanted to enjoy the clean ocean here instead of water parks since I already used those a lot.
All 86 beaches in Gangwon-do are now open for the summer. And by open, this means there will be lifeguards on duty as thousands of people will gather to enjoy themselves by doing fun activities such as surfing and playing in the sea. As of last Sunday, over 420,000 people had visited Gangwon-do beaches this summer, up 44% on year. Starting last Friday, all beaches in Gangwon-do Province are now open, bringing in many tourists. But some point out the need for Gangwon-do to also attract tourists during other seasons, as much as they do during the summer.
Most tourism spending in Gangwon-do is usually made during the summer, so Gangwon-do needs to come up with diversified tourism programs and policies that reflect tourist trends, such as marine healing tourism, marine culture and festival tourism, and ecotourism to attract tourists during all 4 seasons.
Gangwon Tourism Organization said they will continue to work on coming up with ways to bring in more tourists during other seasons as well. Park Gon-woo, Arirang News, Yangyang.
Ursula von der Leyen has won a second term as the EU's executive administration, re-elected with a comfortable majority. This ensures continuity of leadership for the 27-nation bloc as von der Leyen sets out to shape the next 5 years of Europe's place in the world. Our Yoon reports.
The European Commission's first female president, Ursula von der Leyen, has been re-elected for a second term in a secret ballot vote at the European Parliament in Strasbourg on Thursday. She took a comfortable majority, winning 401 of the 707 votes that were cast from the current 719-member chamber. She said the next 5 years will define Europe's place in the world for the next 5 decades, and that it will decide whether Europe shapes its own future or lets it be shaped by events or by others.
We are working all together for a strong Europe. We're working on the topics of prosperity and competitiveness in our economy, social fairness because we have a social market economy. We're working on protecting people, so security and defense, but the most important is the overarching topic of strengthening our democracy. Our democracy is under attack from inside and from outside, and therefore it is crucial that the democratic forces stand together to defend our democracy.
Addressing Parliament before the election, von der Leyen vowed to create a true European defense union with flagship projects on air and cyber defense, and to continue to support Europe's green transition. She laid out a program focused on prosperity and security, shaped by the challenges of Russia's war in Ukraine, global economic competition, and climate change. Von der Leyen also promised tighter EU border controls and stronger police cooperation against crime. But it won't be until October at the earliest that a new EU Commission will be ready to propose new laws and change existing ones. In the coming weeks, von der Leyen will propose her team of commissioners coming from each of the 27 EU member states. National governments are expected to put forward their candidates by early August, which will begin the months of hearings and the questioning of nominees for conflicts of interest, as the full College of Commissioners then need to be endorsed by Parliament. Ian-jin, Arirang News.
Let's take a look at the latest news in the world now. In Paris, France, a police officer was critically injured in a stabbing attack in the city's Champs-Élysées luxury shopping district on Thursday, becoming the latest casualty in a string of unrelated security incidents ahead of the Paris Olympics. According to Paris Police Chief Laurent Nunez, the attacker was also critically injured, adding that a security guard at a boutique store called the police after spotting a man believed to be carrying a knife. Authorities called on people to avoid the Champs-Élysées, while local media footage showed armed police patrolling the area. France is currently at its highest security alert level ahead of the Games, and Thursday's incident follows the stabbing of a soldier at a Paris rail station on Monday, and the ramming of a car into a terrace of a cafe, also in the capital, on Wednesday. Canada has inaugurated General Jenny Carignan as its Chief of the Defense Staff on Thursday, making her the first woman to command the country's armed forces. After the ceremony at the Canadian War Museum in Ottawa, Carignan said that Canada must prepare for emerging threats, saying that the country has about 5 years to get us close enough to be ready to counter those long-range type of threats. The 56-year-old trained as a military engineer before commanding soldiers in Afghanistan, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Iraq and Syria during her 35 years of service. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, who called Carignan a role model for all Canadians and for the world, has been pursuing gender equality policies since taking office in 2015. A baby giant panda at a zoo in South China's Gyeonggi Province celebrated turning 1 month old on Thursday. Giant panda Meng Meng, the eldest of the world's only living panda triplets, gave birth to a female cub on June 18th at the Chimelong Safari Park. Meng Meng gave birth after 128 days of pregnancy, marking the first panda birth in 5 years in the province's capital, Guangzhou. The baby giant panda has yet to be named but is reportedly in good health, weighing some 1.3 kilograms. Kim Xiang, Arirang News.
Good afternoon. The monsoonal front that dropped downpours to central regions over the last couple of days has moved south, with rain falling heavily on and off. Rain is forecast to pick up through the afternoon. Jeollabuk-do Province could see more than 100 millimeters today. Gyeonggi-do also needs to brace for heavy showers. A rain advisory is in place for Jeollabuk-do Province, which should expand to more regions as the day goes on. And the capital area will be under cloudy skies with a chance of light passing rain, and highs should go up through the 4 degrees higher this afternoon, topping out at 31 degrees Celsius here in Seoul. Jeju remains under heat alerts, topping out at 34 degrees this afternoon. Now, monsoon rain continues through the weekend and into next week in central areas, but the monsoon season should wrap up next week in southern regions, and searing heat will set in with highs hovering around 35 degrees Celsius. With that in mind, let's take a look at the international weather conditions.
That is all we have at this hour. Arirang News will be back at 2 p.m. Korea time. Thank you for watching.